Hi friends, I'm here to give you a bit of an ANCON wrap up. Sorry that it's a little bit late. I think I finally discovered that I'm not student age anymore and I don't bounce back as quickly as the students, and so I spent most of the week recovering and most of this week too just trying to get a bit more sleep and a bit more rest as semester 2 has started. But anyway, ANCON, what a great time. Thank you for praying right from the get-go as we looked at the topic living in light of the end. Students were given the opportunity to think about, what should I do with my life? What should I spend my money on? What kind of job should I take? How should I think about others? What direction and things should I be aiming for? Should I invest in property? And so basically we were beginning to get them to think about how they, and like us actually, are all caught up in God's stream, which He is taking to a final place, and that's Jesus' return. And so it was a challenging week for students to think about, well, how do I make my life count? Knowing that Jesus will return, knowing actually that that could be soon, it could be not. Some of us may join the Lord before He does return. How do we make every moment count? And I'm sure you, like me, have at times found that really difficult to weigh up. But you can imagine that for our students, this is the life trajectory we want them to consider. We want them to keep thinking through at every stage in life, well, actually, with this new season in life, how could I steward this in the best way possible for Jesus? So thank you for allowing me to be there and to be there for conversations. Of course, the conversations were really helpful about serving the less reached and the less resourced, knowing that time is short, because it meant that we got to challenge students as to thinking, well, where is their ministry horizon? Do they only then, knowing that time is short, care about people in their family? What about people in their suburb? But what about people in suburbs which maybe aren't their suburbs, or places in Australia or the world that they've never been to before? So we had 13 missionaries, or less reached, less resource workers, as we call them, who from, again, Monday through to Friday were just busy in front of faculty groupings sharing their story about how they made life count and how they've sought to live in light of the end. Two exciting stories. One from one of the missionaries, so a new couple who are about to go out to Madagascar. They shared that they spent some time with the education faculty, and at the end of it they said they were so loved, not just by expressions of gifts and prayer, but in fact their support base grew by 10% in terms of prayer and giving. So you can thank God that He's helped that faculty, as I'm sure other students in fact become better senders of missionaries and those who choose to serve the less reached, less resourced. You can also give thanks. There was one particular special student there who I love dearly. She had already made it made known pretty much from her first year that she was not leaving the suburb where she grew up in. She felt called to serve there. It was the only place she'd known, and so she felt like God had equipped her to stay there. But ANCON became fairly prevalent for her as she actually considered, well, maybe she couldn't do that. And maybe to live life in light of the end meant that she had to be a bit more open-minded. And so not only did she choose to sit down with me and ask me about how did I increase my missions involvement in being a good sender, but she also decided she would sign up for an EU summer mission in a very different location to where she currently lives, so that she might gain some exposure and experience of being able to think, well, could I live here in this less reached, less resourced place? So give thanks for her too. And lastly, I just want to thank you. I know that in some ways, I get to be with the students every day on campus and at ANCON, and some of you may be very grateful that I do that and you don't have to be there. But in other ways, I just want to affirm you again to say, because of your prayers and your giving, you are there with me. You make this work happen. And so that's why I wanted to take the time just to talk to you face to face, to share those little snippets from ANCON, and to thank you so much for your partnership. James and I really appreciate it. It's very special to us, and we feel greatly loved by all of you. So thank you. And please do keep praying that God would raise more harvest workers for the EU. Please keep praying that He would glorify Himself as students seek to do evangelism now, so that they will always have an evangelistic heart when they leave uni, and that evangelistic heart wouldn't just stop in their Sydney suburb, but be a concern to see a whole world that knows Jesus. So thanks again, and I look forward to updating you with the rest of the semester as it rolls on.